Okay. Hello, everyone. I know it's late. Okay, and I want it that way, but I'm coming at you with a collective reading. Okay, on various people. If you want to jump in and make a request, go for it. Okay. Um, but I want to start out with. I'm trying to see. This is a collective reading. It's like an open read for me. Okay. Um, I do know who I want to start with, but who I end up with after that, I don't know. But I want to start off with Diddy and Biggie. Okay. I haven't seen the documentary, but I have been watching the other channels and the clips that they show. Okay. And I don't have Netflix. But anyway, so they were talking about Diddy charging Biggie's funeral that he was supposed to pay for, big funeral. Oh, you're gonna go out big, yeah, and then charge it to his estate. Okay, so I want to see what the energy was. Matter of fact, how did Diddy feel about Biggie? Okay, now I expect certain cards to pop up. Okay, and when they do, or if they do, I'll let you know. I'm up here. Let's see. I'm looking for cards with. Um, ooh, have I used this in a while? Let me see. Ooh. Okay, but no, this isn't what I want. I want the ones with the writing on them. Okay, but yeah, I want to know what that was. What was going on there? Okay, between these. Well, not between these two, but really how Diddy felt about um, Biggie to do something like that. Okay, have him set up. If he did, everything's alleged. Okay, if he did have him set up to be killed, okay, if he had Tupac to be set up to be killed, if he charged the funeral that he was supposed, he said he would pay for, if he actually was that devious to charge the man's estate. Okay, I mean, that is so diabolical. Okay, I think these have, there we go. Yeah, these do. So we're going to use, for this particular reading, tarot cards with meanings on them. Okay, so this is like I call it my tarot teeny cards because it has the martini glass. Well, not really a martini glass, but anyway, you know what I'm saying. So I want to go in and I just want to know what the dynamics is. And then, like I said, if you have a request, don't hesitate, okay, to make a request. This is late night, okay? If you got to be to work in the morning, if you can't stay up late, this ain't for you, okay? That's right. We doing late nights. Yes, I haven't been on here for a while. I haven't done a live in a while. My eternal time clock is all switched up. Okay. So I've been sleeping like all day and now I'm up. Wide awake. Okay. Yeah. So if you can't stay up late, if you can't come outside, okay. Hmm. So yeah, and now, okay, from my understanding, that Biggie and his entire family is suing Netflix, okay, for defamation. The mama said she never touched her son, said he didn't charge the funeral. Well, here's the thing, okay, you have to prove that, and if you can't prove that you didn't do that, you have no case. And I'm pretty sure, especially when she says, I didn't whoop my son or whatever, girl, okay, do you have any footage saying, proving that you didn't? Then, okay. Oh, I wanted to, yeah, okay. And I'm pretty sure, okay, allegedly, I feel that they do have proof that he charged the estate. That's why they're saying it in the first place, because it's on it document something like that. If you charge somebody's estate, you have to have that documented. You can't just charge, okay, and say give me the money. You have to have it on paper when it comes to somebody's estate, charging somebody's estate. So anyway, and the mom, apparently Biggie's mom has passed, okay? So she's not here to tell us whether or not. So let's ask the cards. Can you tell us how Sean Diddy Combs felt about Notorious BIG, also known as Biggie, also known as Christopher Wallace? Yes. How did he feel about this man? Okay. What do you want us to know? What can you tell us? How Diddy felt about Biggie Smalls, Christopher Wallace. Now, Christopher Wallace, okay, Biggie apparently was going over to the West Coast because I believe Tupac went over there, okay? And he did not want him to go. Well, of course he didn't want them to go because they didn't want to be in his agency anymore because he was taking the money, trying to control, you know, and everything. So, and the thing about it is, Notorious B.I.G. and Tupac's, okay, those are icons in and of themselves. They're both icons, but they're separate because they had their own technique, and it was good. Oh, it was good. Oh, yeah, okay, you can't deny that. They were both really good. And from my understanding, there really was no beef between Tupac and Biggie. It was just the East Coast, West Coast thing that they were throwing in the air, okay, just to start some mess, okay, because mess creates, uh, attracts people and attracts money. That's all that was. But yeah, because I remember what was it? Busy said, I had asked Tupac, why you think why you beefing with me, man? What's all this? And he like, man, I ain't beefing with you. This is just I forgot the word he said, but basically he said this is just for show. Okay. So that was like an understanding with Biggie. Okay. Nah, man, I don't hate you. This business. Yeah, okay. So what can you tell us? What do you want us to know about Sean Combs' feelings, thoughts, whatever, towards Biggie? And thank you for your answers. See what's going down there. Okay. Mm-hmm. See, bring you guys down. Okay. Mm-hmm. Got my glasses all in the way. Gonna cut the ooh. Okay, I know what's going on. This is irritating me. This the tag. Okay. There we go. Yeah, that tag. Was irritating my skin. Okay, so we're gonna cut the cards and we're gonna see what story we get. Now at the bottom of this reading, oh, we have a Four of Pentacles, and that's trying to hold on to something. Okay. And I believe that he saw Biggie as his money and holding on to his money because I believe Tupac had already left and now Biggie wanted to leave. I think that's how that went. So it says a need for control. So that's out saving money, blocking change, fear of change, hoarding, and greed. That all sounds like Diddy. Okay, so what do you want us to know? How he felt? Okay, so we have the Ace of Pentacles in reverse. And this right here talks about missed chances, okay, lack of foresight, deficiency, frustration, insecurity, stinginess, okay, bad investments, and poor planning. So this tells me that uh, Diddy didn't see didn't have the foresight to see that the way he was treating his number one artist, so to speak, okay, would lead to him leaving. Okay, that's how full of himself he is. He can't see the forest for the trees. So he didn't, plus he was stingy. Okay, well, everybody tells you that. He didn't want to give him his money's worth. And this left him feeling insecure. His bag was leaving, okay, because Tupac and Diddy, they were his bag. At that time, that was the bag right there, okay. We also have the Knight of Swords in reverse. And this talks about, once again, missed opportunities. This says missed chances. This one is missed opportunities. Unfocused, rude, abusive, arrogant, okay. There we go. Say, so that was the energy. Okay. We also have the Queen of Swords in reverse. Okay. And this right here, the Queen of Swords, okay, in reverse. Okay. Uh a lack of virtues. Okay. Sarcastic, overly critical, easily influenced, and no presence of mind. Okay, we also have the Four of Wands in reverse, and this talks about celebrations being canceled. Okay, there was a problem within the family, or rather within the company. Okay, his inner circle. There was an imbalance. Okay, yeah, and once again, going through these cards right here, one of the biggest things was the lack of the feeling of insecure. He was insecure. Okay, instead of letting these people go on about their business, okay, he was feeling insecure, okay, because he didn't know where his next dollar was going to come from, so to speak, okay. And instead of looking for others or whatever, or changing your attitude, he decided to threaten and lash out. Okay. So we have the Nine of Pentacles. Okay. The Nine of Pentacles talks about abundance. Okay. Independence and material security. Okay. So that's what he saw Biggie as. He saw Biggie as somebody who would he could secure the bag with. Okay. He would give him all kind of financial security. Okay. And of course, he's going to reward the efforts because he's on your label. You see what I'm saying? Okay. We also have judgment in reverse. So this right here talks about guilt and self-hate, okay? And inner critic, inability to face facts, feeling down, and indecision, okay? So this judgment was turned inwards, okay? This judgment was turned inwards. And then we have the Ace of Wands. So he decided to take some action. Okay. He decided to take some action, and he felt fearless. We have the Five of Pentacles in reverse. Okay. He was trying to recover from financial loss. Okay. He was trying to recover from financial loss, overcoming adversity. Okay. Yeah. This is what he was trying to do. And he already had what Tupac leave. He sure couldn't have Biggie leave. Okay. So we have the Knight of Wands. Okay. Now the Knight of Wands is going over this celebration card that's in reverse. So there was no celebration. Okay. Right. And there was some passionate, energetic bravery. Okay. And fearlessness. Um, Inspired action. He was being rebellious. Okay, so I believe they were trying. There was some type of celebration going on, or supposed to be, and he decided to be rebellious. And like I said, with that Ace of Wands, he decided to lash out. Okay, in a violent way, and he had teamwork. Now, if that ain't collaboration, okay, planning, teamwork, collaboration, yeah, focus, effort, growth, learning, okay, mastery, recognition. So, at the same time that Diddy was afraid of losing his bag, it was that at that same time too, Biggie knew he was worth way more than what he was getting from Diddy. Okay. Not to mention all the deception and the lies and stuff like that. Okay. And these two men were from the street. Okay. And when you got your homeboys, okay, you depending on them to be honest. Okay. You depending on some type of integrity from your partners. Okay. And they were not getting that from Biggie. Okay. They couldn't trust him, and you're not going to work your butt off for somebody that you know is a liar and a cheat. So, and how does he know that? Because he's seen him do it to other people, and he see that he was trying to do it to him. He didn't want to go. He didn't want to get into all that mess. He wanted to move on, and that caused a lot of animosity, jealousy. Let's see. Okay. Let me see. The card I was looking for. Okay. It hasn't come up yet. So we have the Page of Pentacles. Say, he's looking. He's planning. Okay. Yeah. See, this is somebody who's goal oriented. He's goal oriented. Okay. He was ambitious. He was loyal. He was faithful. That's Diddy. I mean, Biggie right there. And financial opportunity. So he got an offer. Biggie got an offer worth millions. Okay. He got an offer that he wasn't getting from Diddy. And then we have the Ten of Cups in reverse. So this was pissed. They were pissed. Now, I don't know exactly how Diddy spun the narrative to these people to help him do what he did. But he made it so that the other people in his company, his little clique there, were pissed with Diddy. I mean, with Biggie, okay, to be willing to go along with the plan for his demise. Okay, yeah, and then we have the death card. Okay, so with this death card, it ended a cycle in various ways. It ended a cycle for Biggie. It ended a cycle for Diddy. And he also took the opportunities that were going, because I believe they said that Biggie Smalls was going to be on the cover of Rolling Stones magazine, and he got killed. So who took that offer? Who took Diddy? See, we have the high priestess. She's got these secrets. She's got these secrets, and they're coming out fast. She knows. And she's right next to the death card. Oh. And then we have the Four Swords in reverse. Now, the Four Swords in reverse talks about anxiety, losing faith, restlessness, stagnation, and exhaustion. Okay. And we have temperance in reverse. Okay. Temperance in reverse. So this is somebody who wasn't, they were so pissed and so focused on the money and mad that this man was going to go on somewhere else, that he could not control himself. Okay. He could not control himself. Oh, somebody said something. What's my zodiac's sign? What's your zodiac sign? Child, we doing tarot poo poo. Okay, and this is on Diddy and how he felt about Biggie. Yeah. And then we have the seven of cups. The seven of cups talks about smoke and mirrors. Okay. Smoke and mirrors, delusional. Okay. Wow. It's like he just went his, you know what? It's like if you seen the movie The Exorcist, where her head goes all the way around. That's what Diddy was doing. Okay. And we have the Page of Pentacles. Okay. No, the King of Pentacles. The King of Pentacles. Okay, that's King Money. Okay. He had money. That's the thing about it. At that time, he had they both had money. But Diddy was the one, so to speak, that was holding the bag, okay? But he is so focused on the bag, okay? And people like that, they can't see the forest for the trees. They can't see nothing else. It's just greed, greed, greed. And that's what was going on here. Okay. He wanted a belt, abundance. He wanted wealth. He wanted generosity. He wanted all the respect that he did not deserve. He wanted it for himself. And he's so delusional that if you disagree with him, he takes it as disrespect. Okay, because he's a narcissist. He's a psychopathic narcissist. Okay, and it doesn't matter how much sense it makes. Okay, it doesn't make sense to him. It's disrespect. Period. He doesn't want to hear anything else, and that's it. Okay, and then we have the 7 to 2, 4, 6. Oh, we have an 8. We have an 8 of cups. Okay. So this, and and he was working. He was working hard. Okay. I mean, he was working hard. He wanted it bad. And then we have the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. He wanted it so bad, okay, but karma caught up with him. Karma has caught up with Diddy. It's the Wheel of Fortune in reverse, okay? That is unlucky, bad karma. Bad karma, bad juju. Bad juju right there. This whole row is bad juju. And I mean, he worked really hard at planning, okay? He went into another world planning, okay, the demise, okay? So I'm going to leave it right there, and we're going to look at Biggie, okay? Let's look at how Biggie felt about Diddy. Can you tell us how Biggie, Christopher Wallace, Biggie Smalls, the Notorious BIG, how did he feel about Sean Combs, also known as Puff Daddy? How did he feel about him? What do you want us to know? What can you tell us? And thank you for your answers. Mm-hmm. Yeah. See, that was one way to see it. Now let's see how he felt. How did Biggie feel? Okay. How did Biggie feel about Sean Diddy Combs? Okay. He felt betrayed. He felt backstabbed. He felt heartbroken, sorrow, emotional pain. Okay. Heart problems, betrayal, upset, loss. He felt, yeah. So I don't know all the dynamics between these two, okay, and what he did to Biggie that Biggie would feel this way, but he the Three of Swords, okay. He also felt, okay, he was happy at first, okay. We have inheritance, we have family with the Ten of Pentacles, okay. See, he had affluence, he had a stability, okay. Oh, he was thinking long-term success, a strong foundation. He definitely had a strong foundation. Okay. But then we have the Ace of Cups right next to that in reverse. Okay. So he was pissed. He was clouded by joy. Okay. But at the same time, it was emotional disappointments, okay, which were blocking his creativity and the end of a relationship, gloominess and distress. Ooh, all money ain't good money, okay? And then we have the Hermit. So he thought about this. Okay, he went off to himself. He did some introspection, self-reflection. Okay, and he came up with enlightened and spiritual contemplation. Okay, so he received guidance. Okay, he received guidance. It was teamwork. Okay, but it wasn't a happy. It wasn't happy at all. Okay, yeah, it was the canceled celebration. Okay, there was problems and everything. Or if I could read this, how Biggie felt about Sean, it was okay. Let's look at it from that. That's what we're supposed to be looking at. He could be looking at Sean Diddy Combs as having all this money. Okay, but he wasn't. He emotionally he was immature. Okay, and he was selfish. Okay, and he had his homies, his teamwork. Okay, around him. Okay, so there was a problem. Okay, there was a problem with celebrations and stuff like that. You could look at it as that too. It's whatever you look at it, it's not good. We have a chariot. Okay, so the chariot, we got this boat was moving fast. Somebody was ambitious, right? He was on the right track. Okay, and he was ambitious, and he wanted to control his success. He wanted, yeah, Biggie wanted to control his own success. He didn't want somebody controlling him like that. He wanted to control his money. Okay. Yeah. And then we have the Ten of Cups. Okay. Not only do we have the Ten of Cups in reverse, but it's going over the Ace of Cups in reverse. He was pissed. Shattered his dreams. Okay. He couldn't achieve what he wanted to achieve. It was too much drugs and alcohol involved. Okay. Yeah. So he wanted to make plans with the Three of Wands, but it's in reverse. Okay. So, like the Hermit with the self reflection, okay, he did not want to make plans to go further with this company. What was it? Bad Boy Records? Okay. He didn't want to move on with this, not with these people. Okay. And there we are there with the page of wands in reverse. So Biggie was the type of person. He seems like he could have been a big old teddy bear in his own right, okay? But I think there was a lot of people, these people brought out the negativity, the devil out of him, okay? And this made him impatient, impulsive, and unreliable, as well as the people. He could not rely on Diddy and the people around him. He felt he was unreliable. He felt he was too impatient. Okay. He felt like that Diddy kept pushing him without even giving him time to think and without explaining what was going on like he should have. Okay. So when you're like that toward people, they start looking at you side eye. Okay. And then we have the Six of Wands. Okay. The Six of Wands in reverse, though. Okay. So this was a failure. He felt he wasn't being recognized like he should. Okay. He didn't feel like it was an achievement. Okay. He felt that Sean Diddy Combs was conceited and he was very disappointed. Okay. And then we have this right here, the nine of wands. Okay. He was tired. Okay. He stood his ground and he was tired. He was tired of them. Okay. And he stood his ground. That's why we have a chariot. Okay. Yeah. He was tired of them. Okay. He felt wounded. See, he got the bandage on his head, but he was still standing. And he's got the chariot. He was ready to go. And then we have the Four of Swords in reverse. It's in reverse and it's going over the reverse cups cards, which is he was pissed. Okay. And this talks about the anxiety, okay, the chronic burnout. He was losing faith. He was getting restless. He was ready to go. He was ready to go. We also have the Five of Swords, okay, in reverse. So this card right here is in upright, okay? It's winning at all costs, okay? But you got to pick your battles wisely, okay? Every fight ain't meant to be fought, okay? So he was willing to compromise and offer solutions to the conflict, but yeah, he was trying to move on past it. And we have the Six of Cups, okay? So he started uh, reflecting. He started reflecting on the past when he was happy. He probably was reflecting on the promises that were made and broken. Okay, yep. And then we have the Knight of Cups in reverse. Knight of Cups in reverse. Okay, yeah. That's what I just said. The deceit, the broken promises, disappointment. Okay. And then we have the Queen of Swords in reverse. Okay. So I think secrets started coming out. Now, here it talks about being pessimistic and careless, cold hearted, emotional. Okay. We also have the Page of Pentacles. So this is somebody, Young Money. And back then, Diddy was Young Money. They were all Young Money. Okay. They were all goal oriented. They were about their money, financial opportunities. Okay. And then we have the Ace of Swords coming in reverse. Okay. So the opportunities that he felt he should have had were missed for some reason. Okay. I, between him and Diddy, I guess Biggie felt that there was some opportunities that he should have had hold to, and he lost out on because of Diddy and his control. Then we have being left out in the cold with the five coins, but it's in reverse. Okay, so yeah, he was trying to recover from any financial losses. Okay, and yeah, and see, and that goes right here with avoiding confrontation, avoiding conflict. Okay, he was willing to make amends. Okay, but then his world came to an end. Mm, mm, mm. So the Five of Cups in reverse, I mean, the Five of Pentacles in reverse. The Five of Pentacles represents a loss, okay, or mismanaging your money. When it's in reverse, that means you're getting back on track. Okay, you're recovering or trying to recover whatever losses that you may have had. Now, I heard he had a $65 million deal. That was money back then too. Okay. And that would have definitely recovered his losses and put him ahead of the game. Okay. But his world came to an end. It all ended. Okay. It all ended. So in summary, Biggie knew about Sean Combs, okay, and I'm pretty sure him and Tupac talked, okay, but he recognized just like Tupac recognized, okay, but yeah, he was jumping ship as well, okay, and okay, like I said, okay, Mr. Combs, okay, could not control himself. He was pissed. I mean, these folks are something else. I tell you, when I see stuff like this happening, okay, it makes me feel so happy that I am not rich, okay, because I would not want to be blinded and caught up in uh, that kind of greed, okay, and jealousy. Oh my God, okay. I mean, it can't see the forest for the trees, okay? So mad that you're gonna kill a person, you're gonna set them up, okay, allegedly to be killed. Oh my God, okay. Does anybody want a make a request before I go on to the next subject? Not that I have anything in mind, but I'm gonna pick something, okay? I hope you can type fast. Okay. Yes, that is crazy. That is so crazy. Nobody? Okay. Let me get me a drink of water. Oh, that's all the water I have because I didn't bring any in. But, whew, so that is crazy. The vibe I got when I was reading this was just a lot of disorganization, a lot of what's crazy. It's crazy that, well, I'm just telling you, the way I felt was the energy I felt doing this reading was, it was just chaos, chaos, craziness, just chaos. You know, that was the energy. You know, you got these deals and he's trying to move on the deals, but he's trying to hustle somebody at the same time and misleading. You got this artist that can bring you in money, but instead of you trying to do the artist right, you're trying to cheat him out the money. You're trying to take your bag, and his bag, and you're mad because he's going on to someone else. He's got a bigger deal. Maybe Biggie could match that deal. Okay. But see, the thing about it is when you treat somebody like you're with respect and like you're supposed to be treated, okay, they're more likely to stay with you and take a loss and lose some money, okay, and stay with you because they know you're right. But he knew Diddy wasn't right. He knew Diddy wasn't right. What else we got to go on? He knew Diddy wasn't right. Let's see. He knew Diddy what. Let's go. We're gonna go with the broke bitch. Let me see. Broke bitch, or we can go with this because these these cards go back in that time. Okay. Let's see. What is this? This is the early 2000s in New York. Okay. In New York. Let's see. What was the energy? What was the energy like in Bad Boy Records? That was Sean Diddy Combs, right? Bad Boy Records. What was the energy like in that company back in the 2000s? Okay. Back in the 2000s, what was the energy? What can you tell us? And thank you for your answers. Yes. Now, this doesn't have writing on it, so I'm got to swing it. What do you want us to know? Thank you for your answers. What was it like in Bad Boy Records in the 2000s? Yes. Okay. Cut the cards. Whoop. The Hierophant. Okay. The Hierophant talks about control. Okay. Conforming, government, big institutions. So what it was back in the day, okay, it was a big company. Okay. Bad Boy Records was a big company. Okay. Yes. But we have the Six of Pentacles in reverse. Okay. They were taken. Six of Pentacles. Yeah, give and take. Okay. They give and take, but they wasn't giving and taking. They were taken. Okay. We have the Seven of Wands in reverse. So this man is holding up a peace sign. Okay. But this is in reverse. So I'm taking it that there was definitely some negative energy in that company. We have the Eight of Wands in reverse. Eight of Wands in reverse. So they knew what they were doing. And they were at freedom to do so. But you see how the figure is looking up and there's a line going through they can't see? Uh-huh. So their artists didn't see what was coming or what they were walking into. We have the Nine of Pentacles in reverse. Okay. So there wasn't a lot of money. There was money, but not a lot. Okay. And then we have the Tower. Okay. So there that went. Then we come with the Sun in reverse. And the Page of Wands. Uh-huh. So they had these young guys coming in. Okay. See, because the company was going upside down. It was in turmoil here, I could see. And they got these, the young man, the Page. Okay. And then we have the High Priestess in reverse. Ooh. So secrets started coming out. Okay. They started getting into the juju. Okay. In reverse. That bad they were getting into the what do you call it? The cult. The cult. Okay. We have a 10 of cups. Okay. And we have happy families, okay, with the 10 of cups. But it was in a cult like setting. Yeah. So they were bringing up kids, okay. And we have a 6 of cups. They didn't know no better. Yeah. They were getting these kids. They were getting these kids. There we go with King of Cups. Look at, he got the little kid sitting on his lap. No, he got the little kid sitting up there around him. Okay. Yeah. While he's playing, yeah. And look how the man is looking. Like I got one. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, they were they started focusing on the children, the younger kids. Okay. The 7 of Pentacles. Oh, they started working them, the children. They started working the youngsters. Oh wow, this is a trip. How this is coming out. We have the 8 of Swords. Okay. We have the 8 of Swords in reverse. So they started taking these kids out the ghetto, so to speak, okay, of their situations and giving them these bright ideas, okay, and they thought they could see and getting them into the juju and all this stuff, yeah. And then we have the Page of Swords, okay, the Page of Swords, chatty patty. So they started talking to these children, okay, with the Queen of Wands in reverse. Promoting these children, okay, promoting these children in a bad way. This is in reverse. Uh-huh. Yeah. They started sowing discord and jealousy, okay, or well, yeah, with the kids. Then we have the 4 swords, okay. Ooh. They started getting these kids by themselves. We have the 5 of cups, okay. They were getting these kids, okay, by themselves. 5 of kids, okay, they had a loss, some kind of loss or disappointment. Oh yeah, okay, loss, disappointment. So these kids that they were getting, okay, these sad kids, these kids who were disappointed, okay, or felt disappointed, and they got the Empress, okay, but the Empress is in reverse. So they started parenting these children in a bad way, okay. Uh-huh. These kids, they started parenting kids in a bad way, okay? And I do the thing about it, this could go all over the place because these kids felt stagnant, okay? But they also were stagnating these kids within the company, okay? Because what they wanted to use these kids for is not the dream they were selling the kids. They were saying one thing, but wanting the kids to do another. Catch that T. Okay. We have the 2 of Pentacles. Okay. They were They were making these kids decide, okay? They act like they were giving them choices. We have the Queen of Swords in reverse, okay? So you have that motherly. We have the Queen of Swords, the Queen of Wands, okay? And they're both, and we have the Empress, okay? This is that female energy, but they're all in reverse, okay? So there's some female negativity in this as well that was helping. We have the Six of Swords, okay? So the kids were looking up to them, okay? They were looking up to them like they were all that, okay? And then you have the devil in reverse. So this talks about overcoming in reverse. But I don't know. I don't feel like they were overcoming. I feel like, well, the kids may have thought they were overcoming, okay, but actually they were jumping from the fire pan right on into the fire. And then we have the Two of Swords, yeah, in reverse. And we have the Three of Pentacles in reverse, okay. So let me get one more card before I come with the conclusion. And then we have the Strength card, okay. They were getting these kids along with themselves, okay, all wrapped up in this juju, this bad energy, okay, uh, and making them feel like they were strong, okay, in a negative aspect, okay, getting them to do break the law, okay, and things, and giving them drugs or whatever, okay, to pay them and keep them dependent on them. And this was strong, okay, because you see how the big rock roller, okay, who's supposed to be the strong one, is being submissive to the weak one. So these kids, okay, who were strong, okay, they made them weak, okay. They made these kids weak through addiction, betrayal, doing breaking the law and using it against them, okay, just breaking them down, breaking them down, breaking them right on down. Everything's alleged, my interpretations, okay, but that's what was going on, okay. Now I have a uh-oh, uh-oh, oh, here it is, okay. I got to keep my stuff together, girl. Okay, I want to look at something here, okay. YouTube. I want to ask a question about YouTube. And what do you want us to know? Okay. I want to know, is YouTube, okay, stagnating people's channels on purpose? What do you want us to know? What can you tell us? How about that? Okay. Stagnating people's channels. Okay, and what I mean by that is keeping your channel from growing as big or as fast as it should or could be growing by taking away followers, subscribers, okay? Because a lot of people been complaining about that, losing subscribers, okay, and people unsubscribing, okay. I remember when I had to subscribe, I subscribed to that girl's channel like 4 times because I noticed that it was unsubscribing, and I'm like, I didn't unsubscribe, and I subscribed, and it did. Next thing I know, I look unsubscribe, yeah, okay. And they want to tell you that that's a uh, um, what do they call it? Well, I'll say a snag because I can't think of the words right now. That's a snag in the software or whatever they want to blame it on. Okay, but I don't think it's that. I really don't. So what do you want us to know about this YouTube? Okay, and them unsubscribing people to the channels, subscribers. Okay, and they say that it is not them, that it is what do you call it when the operating system has a snag in it? A snag. Okay, let's see what it is. Okay, what do you want us to know? And thank you for your answers. What's up with that? We're going to get some answers, y'all. This is allegedly. Yes, what's up with YouTube? Ooh, okay. So, you want to see the card on the bottom? Okay. The card on the bottom is the Three of Cups in reverse. Now, the Three of Cups in reverse, the Three of Cups talks about celebration, collaboration, okay? That's what it looks like, but it's in reverse. My arm is twisting, okay? And in reverse, it talks about betrayal, deception, okay? Neglected social life, gossip, scandal, okay? And three's a crowd, so to speak, okay? So they're trying to get away with something with the Seven of Swords, okay? But they get caught. Truth being revealed, turning a new leaf, okay? And then we have the Chariot. And that is ambition, direction, okay? Control. And we have the Knight of Swords in reverse. There it is there. See the Knight? He's moving fast. He's charging forth. Okay, that's your channel. Okay, but it's in reverse. So that means your channel ain't moving nowhere. Okay. So I'm just going to use these 3 cards. Okay. And this is what I'm getting from these 3 cards. I am getting that they're trying to get away with it, but they keep getting caught. Okay. And your channel is moving fast. Okay. It's growing with the Chariot. Okay. Moving forward, progress, when your channel is making progress. Okay. Then here comes the Knight of Swords in reverse, and he puts a stop to it. He blocks it. Okay. He so-called missed opportunities. Okay. So I think that there is some truth into them doing it on purpose. Okay, which I kind of gathered. Okay, but that just lets me know when the cards agree with me. Okay, now here's my thing. Okay, when I am reading on the cards, okay, and I advise to you. I don't like to predict the future with tarot. Okay. Uh, to me, that is, you can't. Okay. To me, this is my interpretation and my understanding that tarot, okay, reads the energy. Okay. And the thing about the future is that energy is not always put out there, or the energy from now until then is changing back and forth, back and forth. So what's yes could be a no when it's all said and done, and vice versa. Okay. So I just wanted to say that this is for entertainment purposes only. Do not, okay, take this to heart as far as trying to read the future and all this. And yes, I do believe it does read your energy and it helps with your intuition, okay? Because we all have our intuition. When the cards start coming out with what you're thinking and just okay, that's there. But usually that happens, you're reading current energy. Okay? That's just my 2 cents. Okay, what do I know? Okay, so what do we want to get on the next case on the docket? Let me see my phone and see. Ooh, my mama's up. I gotta call her. Yep, it's 3 o'clock, almost 4 o'clock in the morning. Okay, over there. Let me see my notes. Okay, so yeah, I haven't missed anything. I'm pretty. Before I go, ooh, oh sheesh, I just something keeps irritating my arm. Knocked over my whole almost. Okay, but oh sheesh, knocking over my car. Oh Lord, y'all. Okay, I'm just making a mess. Yes, I am. Knocked over some cards. Okay. Whew. It's not as bad as it's not as bad as I thought it was. Because I surely didn't want to look on the floor and look at it. But hey, okay. So if you don't have any requests, okay, I guess I'll go and call my mom. How about that? So if you like this reading, give it a thumbs up. Okay. Don't forget to did I say everything's alleged for your entertainment? Okay. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't. And most of all, stay blessed. Bye. Doo, doo, doo.